Mary Jane and Peter have a son together in this story. Spider-Man Bloodline Part 1, let's get into it. We begin with New York in flames as people run for their lives. MJ runs towards the carnage, calling out for Peter. When she eventually reaches him, we see that his costume is torn apart and he's badly beaten. MJ helps him, and even though he's in rough shape, he still keeps his signature humor, saying that MJ should see the other guy. She then tells him that they need to flee, but then suddenly something crashes down in front of them. A monstrous robotic creature cloaked in gray appears from the dust, along with his minions. They then attack Peter and overwhelm him, as he yells for MJ to run. But then, in a shocking twist, as she whispers his nickname one last time, she's stabbed directly in her back and through her chest, then thrown from the bridge they're on. Peter then escapes and catches her as the monster yells at his robots to attack. The story then jumps over to MJ's funeral. We learn that the creature that killed her is called Cadaverous, and that Spider-Man saved everyone. During the battle, Peter lost his arm at the elbow. He holds the hand of a young red-headed boy with his remaining hand while tears flow down the boy's face. The story then jumps 12 years into the future, where the boy is now a teenager and getting ready for school all on his own. Once he gets to school, he sees someone getting bullied, and after telling the bully to stop, the bully sarcastically asks him how his mom is doing. The bully is then thrown through the door of a classroom as a teacher tries to address his class. After that, the principal lectures him before Peter walks in to pick up his son. They argue on their way home, and Peter isn't home much, which makes his son wonder why he's here instead of Aunt May. The argument gets pretty heated, and Peter proceeds to drop off his son to walk the rest of the way because he needs to catch a flight. When the young boy gets home, he tries to open the door, but his hand gets stuck to the knob, causing him to accidentally tear the door right off the hinges. After that, we skip ahead to when Aunt May comes to check in on him in his room, and we finally learn that Peter named his son Ben after his late uncle. Aunt May asks Ben what happened to the door, but he doesn't really give her an explanation. The next day in detention, a girl named Faye walks in and sits by him, and it's clear that she could possibly be a potential love interest. They conversate a bit about why she's in there, and then the story switches over to Cadaverous, who is still scheming as he looks on at someone in a pod who is barely visible. After that, we see Peter calling Aunt May when he's on the plane. She asks what he's doing and then tells him that his son needs him, but Peter insists that they are both better off without him before telling her that his plane is about to leave and that he has to go. After that, we switch back over to Ben in a pool of blood. He looks off into the distance where he sees his mom covered in it. He tries reaching her, but then starts getting consumed by the blood around him. It was a nightmare. Ben wakes up screaming and sticking to the ceiling, revealing that he has spider powers, but he's still confused and afraid of what's happening to him. So Aunt May walks in ready to comfort and guide him. She takes him to the attic and directs him to a specific box under the floorboards. He sees some photos and letters from what seem like happier times, and then under all the sentiment, Ben finds Peter's Spidey costume and is amazed. But sadly, that's when this issue comes to an end, so if you want me to cover part 2, let me know by liking and commenting down below.